Hey guys, welcome back here to today's episode of Intuitive Angling, and much appreciated you guys swinging by the channel and hanging with me for a little bit. Guys, I have a really good little tidbit of a bait I want to show you here, brand new. It involves the new core tackle finesse tush rig and the new 3.6 inch size Megabass spark shad. This is a brand new size Megabass just came out with, and combined with the tush rig, guys, this is a deadly cold water swim bait setup. I want to explain it to you guys in today's video, show you guys how to set it up, show you guys how to rig it, and talk about specifically the type of situations it works here in today's video. Also guys, I will link all this in the description. I'll link the tush head here, and I'll also link the new Megabass 3.6 inch spark shad in my tackle warehouse link in the description here. If you guys would like to use that link to order these products for today, it's a good way to help the channel and get you some good tackle there. And also guys, real quick reminder that we still do have my Fish the Moment lake map breakdowns up on the fishthemoment.com website. Right now we got the winter maps. We also got spring maps up there. I'll put the Fish the Moment link, the lake map breakdown link in the description of this video if you guys would like to check that out. And finally guys, thank you for everybody that's taking time to hit that subscribe button here to Intuitive Angling. Appreciate that. And I really appreciate you guys putting up with the plugs there. Okay guys, I am super impressed with both of these things here. You guys have heard me talking about some of the core tackle products over the past year. My buddy Matt Steffen and Johnny Schultz, guys, both of them are world-class anglers, and they've been designing some incredible, jig heads through the whole hover rig headline. Everything they have at Core Tackle is just, state of the art. And also this new bait I want to show you by Megabass. Now here is the new Megabass 3.6 inch spark shad. Guys, I'm really excited about this because Megabass makes this in several sizes before. They had a 3-inch model, which was shorter than this, and then they had a 4-inch model that was significantly larger than this. But this little 3.5 inch is the perfect size for wintertime bass fishing, guys. This is like the size of a lot of the shad that the fish feed on in the wintertime. This is just a perfect setup for the finesse tush. Now, here's the finesse tush head, guys. If you've never seen it before, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about this. It's got a really nice short shank, 2/0 hook. And the thing that makes the finesse tush better than like a jig head a lot of times is the lead is distributed evenly through the shank of the hook right here. And what this does, this allows the bait not only to have like a spiraling action as it falls, if you let it fall like a free fall, but it also has the bait, it has it more of a horizontal glide to it. If you have a jig head just sitting on the end here and all the lead's on the end of it, the jig head just drops the swim bait straight down like that. But with the finesse tush head, when you put it on the swim bait here, it not only, like I said, depends on how you control it or how much slack you give in your line. It either has this nice horizontal float to it like that, or it's got that undulating motion like a dying bait fish. So finesse tush head's a real deal. Now let's talk a little bit how to rig it. Pretty simple rig up. One of the things that's really critical on this with the tush head here, the finesse tush, is you got to get it in the center of the bait perfectly, and you've got to come out of the center of the bait perfectly. Now, this is the critical part of it here. Once you put it in like this, you really want to go super, super slow. Go about 1/8 of an inch at a time, move it about 1/8 of an inch, and then look to make sure that your hook is perfectly centered in the top of the swim bait. Now, the reason this is so critical is that if you don't have it perfectly centered, the bait's gonna run on its side a little bit. So make sure that's perfectly centered, and then gently run it up to where everything is showing except for just the hook. Now look at that, guys. Now you have a perfectly weighted swim bait where there's no head showing, so you have it takes away that strike detractor, because anytime you have something on a bait, whether it be a hook or head, that acts as a strike detector or detractor to some extent. But now all your weight is fully inserted in the center of the bait. Got your eye tie here, nice, super stiff, small 2/0 hook. Guys, this is a setup that gets them every time. It's like this hook is stiff enough here, you can put a bunch of power on it. You could throw it on 20-pound line and put power and it's not gonna straighten out, yet it's a small shank, and it just really, really makes the bait good. The bait's gonna come down at a nice horizontal angle like that, or it's just gonna be undulating on its way down. So that's the advantage of that. Okay, now given that, let's talk a little bit about where you wanna fish this during the winter time. you're gonna find out that this little 3.6-inch Megabass Spark Shad with the finesse tush on there, it's going to work best. There's a window in terms of water clarity and water temperature that you need to fall into. First we get into that, I also want to say that if you have a lake that has some type of a mixed species, like a largemouth, spotted bass, smallmouth to some extent, or it can be 80% largemouth, 20% spotted bass, those are usually always the better type lakes for a swim bait like this. You can catch them on a straight largemouth lake, but it seems like if you got some type of mix, you get a lot more bites with it. So there's a couple different things that you need to remember on this, and the reason it's so good, it's all about a combination of the right water clarity and water temperature. This technique that I'm going to talk about, it's going to be really, really good when your water temperature is in that 45 to 55 degree range, which is very common in the wintertime. But, even if you're in Texas, you're going to have water temperatures in the low to mid 50s based upon your weather patterns. And if you're here in my part of the country, you're going to have, it's very common to have low to mid 40s water temperature. That's the window that you want to have. And also you have to have the right water clarity window for this to work in. The water clarity window for this setup right here is going to be that range of probably around a minimum of 3 feet on up to as clear as you want to go. But if you gave me a perfect scenario, like say, Randy, give me the perfect scenario for this setup, I would say give me water visibility of about 4 foot, about 4 foot water clarity. Give me water temperatures, anywhere between, again, 45 to 55 degrees, and give me some type of lake that has some decent rock structures in terms of like points, bluffs, rocky banks, ditches, all that type of stuff. These fish are going to be on typical wintertime areas. Now the wintertime areas are going to be, the key spots are going to be main lake and secondary points, those guts or ditches, which are areas that are about halfway back in a cove where you throw right down the middle of it, or paralleling like a bluff bank or a steep rocky channel bank, or if you have submergent timber, like here we do have in the Ozarks or Lake Lanier, Georgia, or, maybe something like, Lake Hartwell, you can catch some fish on the swim bait, swimming that bait over the top of the submergent timber. So whatever, wintertime cover that you have with it. And most of the time on this setup, this is a little bit larger bait. So I usually like to use 6-pound test line on my swim baits, but in this particular setup here, this is a little bit beefier than your normal finesse swim bait. So what I'll fish on this is usually anywhere between 8 to 10 pound test Seagarn Vizex line, and I'm still using it on a Megabass spinning rod. Even though it's got a fairly stiff hook in it, I just like the way the bait feels. I feel like you can get just a better feel on that swim bait when you're crawling it along. And the depth that you want to work it is relative to the water clarity. If you have a really clear lake, like the water visibility happens to be over 5 or 6 foot clarity, look for a lot of those fish to be suspended, especially out in those ditches, out off the points. Keep an eye on your 2D sonar for any type of bait fish activity. That'll give you a good clue to how deep they're suspended. But if you have water visibility of less than, say, 4 feet in a lake, a lot of those fish are going to be down on the bottom. And again, both of them can be point related. If the water visibility has a little cover, what I'll do is I'll get my boat in about 20 foot of water. I'll fan cast the point. I'll let the bait go all the way to the bottom and just try to crawl it, close to the bottom or maybe like 6 inches or a foot off the bottom. And again, if it's cleaner, that's when I'm going to go to a little bit more suspended, because that's just more conducive to suspended fish, the clearer water. So anyway, give it a try, guys. Megabass finesse tush rig. Core tackle finesse tush rig, and the Megabass 3.6 inch, the new Spark Shad here, linked in the description, my tackle warehouse link. Give them a try, guys. I know it'll help you guys catch some good ones. So we'll talk later.